Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, where it's all about creating the life you want, the business you want, and making a real difference. Join us in unlocking the code to true success. And now your host, Tony Caliendo, Master Coach with Rethink Coaching.
Welcome to the Mindset Architect Podcast, episode number 13. I'm Tony Caliendo, Master Coach here at Rethink Coaching. And as always, I just want to thank you for investing your time and spending some of it with me today. So today, I want to talk about something that's been coming up a little bit in my conversations with entrepreneurs across the country, in particular real estate agents. And I don't know if it's because we're entering into the holiday season. Right now, it's the week prior to Thanksgiving when this podcast is being recorded. And I don't know if that's what's causing it or if it's just a season that people are going through, but I'm hearing a lot of people say, hey, I feel overwhelmed. I don't feel like I'm getting as much done as I could, or I'm just not getting the right things done. And so that is a great awareness to have if you're finding yourself in that same position, whether it's a holiday week or not. I know as we grow as humans and as our business grows, the demands put on us also grow with the things that we must do in order to fuel our business and our life. And so it's not uncommon that frequently we may feel a bit of overwhelm or that we're just not getting things done in a way that allow us to experience productive days. So I want to share with you a tool that I was given years ago when I was in a different program that really has helped me tremendously take control over my day and get me out of a space of overwhelm. So first, I want to start by saying this. Many of us have a great calendar, and then many of us have a mental checklist. And those two things are typically very different from each other. And what I know about how the brain works is when I hold a to-do list in my brain, and I do not put it down in writing, or I do not put it on my calendar, every task or every to-do item that I'm carrying around in my head carries the same level of importance. Your brain hasn't sorted out yet what's important or more important for you to get done that day. And so brushing your teeth is as important as calling $1 million client. I know that sounds crazy, yet that's just how the brain works when we're holding our action or our to-do list in our head. And so I'm going to invite you to explore using this tool that I've used for years now that has really helped me get focused and have what I consider to be incredibly productive days where I leave at the end of the day and I feel like I've accomplished exactly what I needed to accomplish to continue moving forward in my success and moving forward towards my goals, which I think is what we're all after, whether that goal is growing your business or having a balanced life or whatever that looks like for you. And what it has done, and I will tell you, before I started doing this, I don't know about anybody else, but there were a lot of times when I would finish with dinner and I'd be sitting around looking to unwind for the night and I'd be like, oh crap, I forgot to do that. Or shoot, I didn't get to that item and it really needs to get done today. I promised that to a client or I promised that to somebody else. And we find ourselves with our laptop or iPad, whatever we work off of, in our face during time that we should be relaxing with family, friends, or just for ourselves. And that is a true sign that you may not be managing your day and your task to the best of your abilities and that we got some opportunity. So if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed with what you must get done, or if you're feeling like you're not getting things done in the time that you'd like to get them done, this is a great tool for you. So we used to call it the 4 Ds, and D like David, the 4 Ds. And again, this is what I've lived in my life for quite a while now. And what the 4 Ds are is, and I'm going to run through these and then I'm going to explain each of them. Dump, delete, delay, delegate. Okay, those are the 4 things. Dump, delete, delay, delegate. And this is really critical for you to do. So the first thing that I do, I'm a pen and paper guy. I really do like to-do list. and I like to be able to mark things off. So first thing I do is I grab a notebook, and I always have a spiral bound notebook next to me or a journal, and I dump everything out of my brain that must get done that day. So I do this in the morning a lot, or if about midday I'm feeling a little overwhelmed, like, oh my gosh, I'm going to run out of time, I do this immediately. So you just grab a piece of paper, pen. If you want to do it on your iPad or your laptop, whatever works for you, just do it. For me, pen and paper works. And you sit with and you dump everything out that you must get done that day. And what I love about this is one to-do list item that you have in your head, you might write down, and it may cause a trigger that you think about 4 other things that need to happen that you would have never thought about had you just held it into your brain. So number one thing is to just dump everything out. The second thing is, once we've exhausted that list, and team, this can't be done in 5 seconds. Really sit with this. Give yourself 3 to 5 minutes to really get everything out. Take a look at your calendar, take a look at your goal for the day, and then start the project and get everything out. Next, what you do is you go through that list and you identify, what can I delete off of this? What really is on here that doesn't need to be on here? And you just delete it. You cross it off with a pen. You do whatever you got to do to delete that item. So you've gone through this list once and you've already deleted a few items. So you're starting to see this list get a little bit smaller. The next thing you do is look at, what can I delay? What do I have on my to-do list today that doesn't need to be done today? Can I delay it till tomorrow? Can I delay it for 3 days? Can I delay it for a week? Does this not even need to happen this quarter? Really take a look at the items that you got remaining, because you've deleted some. Now take a look at the remaining items and ask yourself, which one of these things can be delayed? Once you do that and you reassign the time and the date to it, move on to the next step, which is, what can I delegate to someone else that's on this list? What is on this list that I personally do not have to do and that someone else could do and get it done equally as well as me and have it off of my list? And I know, trust me, I'm an entrepreneur. When I started in my real estate business, I thought nobody could do things as good as me, and I held on to everything and about lost my mind. So you might be looking at this saying, well, I couldn't delegate that. You can. If you've got a family member, a friend, an assistant, a virtual assistant, a teammate, there are a lot of things that you can do to delegate. So just a really simple example: housekeeper, maintenance person, yard person. There's some things that'll be on our list that we don't need to do. Laundry, I don't need to do it. I can drop it off at the dry cleaner, have them do bundle service, and go pick it up the next day. And I just freed up a couple hours of my day. It doesn't always have to be just something about work. So when I tell you that you're dumping everything out of your brain from the things that you must do, I mean everything, and get it out there. So now you have taken everything out of your brain. You've gone through and you've deleted some items. You've delayed other items. You've delegated other things. Guess what you're left with? You're left with your true to-do list for the day. And this is where the magic can happen. So this is what I do. My list looks kind of messy at this point, right? I've got some items scratched off. I've got some items with different due dates on it. I've got a whole mess going on. I've got, items that I'm delegating to someone else. What I do is I extract just the items that are left that I must do that day, and I create a new list. And I do this because I just need the clarity and the focus. So I create my new list, and now I'm able to truly prioritize what needs to be done, because I've got my true to-do list in front of me, and it's not in my brain, because this is what we know happens. When it lives in our brain, we start to do something. While we're doing that task item, we think, oh my gosh, I got to go do this. And we stop doing that and we move on to something else. While we're doing that, your brain's like, oh, but don't forget, this is really important too. And we stop doing that and we move on to something else. This is the cycle that leads us to having our laptop with us at night instead of relaxing, or feeling that we didn't accomplish what needed to happen during the day. So this is where the power happens. You take that to-do list and you prioritize. Most important items go first. Less important items go last. Go ahead and take that list and sort it out in that manner. The next thing that I do is I look at the task and I figure out, how much time do I really need for each item? Is this an hour long task? Is this a 20-minute task? And why I'm telling you to do this, it's really critical. There is a universal law that I live by, and it's work expands to the time allowed. If I do not put a start and a finish with something, a task that should take 20 minutes may take me 2 hours. A task that should take an hour may take me all day and interfere with me getting other things done because I'm busy doing the important task. So I go through that list, I prioritize. Next thing I do is I assign how much time it will take. And then I really blow it up by taking my calendar out and I overlay my to-do items with the amount of time needed, and I assign those to times on my calendar. So for those of you who don't love a calendar, that would be me. At first, I didn't. One of my coaches taught me this, and it was just a silly little thing, but it made a huge difference. Your calendar is just your to-do list with times assigned to it. And so if you take this to-do list and you know that this task takes 20 minutes and it's the most important, and you've got some open time on your calendar between 8 and 9, you can assign that task to be done at 8 o'clock or 8:20 or at 8:40, whatever it is. You can move these tasks into your calendar with assigned times. I promise you, when I started looking at my calendar as just a to-do list with times assigned to it, it was a game changer. I started loving my calendar because I realized if I followed it, I got things done. So a couple of things that I'm going to encourage you to think about as you do this. Number one, don't rush through this and just hurry up and write some things down. Really take some time to dump all of those items out of your brain that you must get done that day or that you think you must get done that day. Really delete the things that you don't need to be done, period. A lot of times we've got some stupid things on there that we just don't need to do, and you can immediately just remove them. Delay. It's okay to delay a time that things must be done. It really is. And then delegate. And I'm going to talk to you about delegate for a second. Because as entrepreneurs, we do believe that nobody can do it quite as good as us, or we've gone from a solo entrepreneur to having people on our team, whether that's a virtual assistant, whether it's a full-time admin, whether it's other salespeople on our team, whether it's our family, our friends, or people that we can hire outside of our business. We fail to look at that because we've lived in the place for so long that we've done everything. We haven't had the pleasure or the luxury of having anybody else in our world to leverage to do these things. So sometimes the delegate thing is one of the more challenging tasks on this to get through because we hold on to the belief that nobody can do it as good as we can. So I'm going to ask you to really sit with that one and to learn how to delegate appropriately. I have become masterful at delegating, and I have had to let go of the person that I delegate it to. Did they get it done, and did they get it done right? If the answer is yes, I'm good. I don't care how they got there. They may go a different route to get to the answer than I would, but I can't control that, and it's not where I'm going to get the most use of my time. So if you're delegating, just embrace and appreciate the fact that somebody else was able to do something and got it done for you, and enjoy it. And then, of course, your to-do list, just honor that. I promise you, when you do this, it will lighten your day. It will allow you to get the most important activities done. And just because of work expands to the time allowed, you will become incredibly efficient. For those of us who might be a bit of procrastinators, that universal law of time, work expands to the time allowed, is really key for you, because we tend to procrastinate until we can't anymore. And then all of a sudden we get a burst of energy and we get stuff done. And it puts a bit of stress on yourself and your body. And so by assigning times and putting it on your calendar, you're creating the space to have a super, super impactful and powerful day. So I hope this helps out. Lastly, I'm going to close because I don't want to leave this hanging. When you went through that list and you delayed things, go ahead and now go through what you've delayed. So let's say I delayed an item for 2 days from now. Go ahead and look at that item. How much time does it take? And put it on your calendar. We don't want to forget about those things that we delayed. Okay, so I didn't want to forget that little piece because it's important. I hope this helps you out. It has been a game changer for me to use in the mornings, during the day, whatever it is, when the moment hits where I'm feeling like I am in the weeds and I am extremely overwhelmed and I'm probably not going to get done what I need to get done. This is a great simple exercise. Maybe takes 10 minutes at most to get it done, and you can do it. I appreciate you being here as always. If you've got questions, comments, or likes, please do it now. And if you think anybody in your world would benefit from knowing about this really simple but impactful tool, please share this podcast with them. I appreciate you being here. Cannot wait to see you next week. Go crush it. We'll talk to you soon. If you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you must come check out the Mindset Architect Group Coaching Program. It's our monthly program where we explore the power of your mindset, help you identify what you truly want in business and life, and then help you reach those goals. Come check us out at rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. That's rethinkcoaching.com/group-program. We'll see you there.